The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the alien salvage crew as they scanned the debris field for anything of value. Captain Zax, a grizzled veteran of countless salvage missions, squinted at the readings on his display. His keen eyes spotted something unusual among the floating wreckage. "What do we have here?" he muttered, his gravelly voice tinged with curiosity. He tapped a few buttons on the console, bringing up a magnified view of the object. It was a ship, but unlike any he had seen before. Zax turned to his first mate, a lanky alien named Krill, and gestured towards the screen. "Take a look at this, Krill. What do you make of it?" Krill leaned in, his large, bulbous eyes studying the image intently. "It's an old ship, that's for sure. But I don't recognize the design. It's not like any of the ships used by the major spacefaring races." The captain nodded, his interest piqued. "Let's bring it in for a closer look. If it's as old as it looks, it might be worth something to the right buyer." The salvage crew maneuvered their ship closer to the derelict vessel, their tractor beams locking onto its hull. As they pulled it into their cargo bay, they could see the faded markings on its side. UES Relic. UES. "Never heard of that prefix before," Krill remarked as they docked with the ancient ship. Zax shrugged. "Probably some long-forgotten species. Let's suit up and take a look inside." The crew donned their protective gear and entered the Relic, their flashlights piercing the darkness of the abandoned corridors. The air was stale, and the only sounds were the echoes of their footsteps and the creaking of the ship's structure. As they explored the vessel, they discovered that despite its age, the ship was remarkably well preserved. The technology, while primitive compared to their own, was still functional in many areas. In the ship's command center, Zax noticed a strange symbol etched into the wall, a circle with a smaller circle inside it, connected by a line. "What do you suppose this means?" he asked, tracing the symbol with his finger. Krill shook his head. "No idea, but it seems to be everywhere on this ship. Maybe it was their species' emblem or something." The more they explored, the more intrigued they became. The ship's design was unlike anything they had encountered, and its very presence raised questions about its origin and purpose. After a thorough investigation, Zax made a decision. "We'll take the Relic to the Galactic Hub. If anyone can identify this ship and its creators, it'll be the experts there. Plus, I bet we can get a good price for it at the auction." The crew agreed, and they set course for the bustling spaceport known as the Galactic Hub. As they traveled, news of their unusual finds spread quickly, and soon the Relic became the talk of the galaxy. Upon arriving at the Galactic Hub, the salvage crew was greeted by a crowd of curious onlookers and potential buyers. The Relic was put on display, its mysterious origin and primitive technology drawing both fascination and mockery from the various alien species present. "Can you believe these primitives actually traveled through space in this bucket of bolts?" One alien sneered, tapping the Relic's hull with a tentacle. Another laughed. "I'm surprised it hasn't fallen apart yet. Look at how crude their technology is compared to ours." As the insults and laughter continued, Captain Zax couldn't help but feel a twinge of unease. There was something about the Relic that seemed to defy the aliens' dismissive attitudes, a sense that there was more to this ancient ship than met the eye. Little did they know that the Relic's story was far from over, and that its true purpose would soon be revealed in a way that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The Galactic Hub was abuzz with excitement as the ancient human warship, now known as the Relic, was prepared for auction. Aliens from all corners of the galaxy had gathered to witness this unique event, each with their own agenda and interest in the mysterious vessel. In the grand auction hall, the Relic stood at the center of attention, its weathered hull a stark contrast to the gleaming, high-tech ships that surrounded it. The auctioneer, a tall, slender alien with shimmering skin, took his place at the podium and called the room to order. "Ladies and gentle beings," he began, his voice amplified by the hall's sound system, "we are gathered here today to bid on a most unusual item, a relic from a long-forgotten species, a ship that has captured the imagination of the galaxy. Let us begin the bidding. The crowd erupted into a frenzy of activity as various factions and individuals vied for the chance to own the relic. The Xanthians, known for their love of ancient artifacts, quickly took the lead, their bids climbing higher and higher with each passing moment. Not to be outdone, the Krullians, a warrior race with a keen interest in military history, entered the fray. They saw the relic as a potential weapon, a way to gain an edge in the ongoing galactic conflicts that plagued the star systems. As the bidding war intensified, Captain Zax and his crew watched from the sidelines, their eyes wide with disbelief at the astronomical sums being offered for their salvaged find. They had expected a good price, but nothing like this. Just when it seemed that the Xanthians and Krullians would continue their battle indefinitely, a new voice cut through the chaos. 10 million credits. The hall fell silent as all eyes turned to the source of the bid. There, standing at the back of the room, was a hooded figure, his features obscured by shadows. Whispers rippled through the crowd as they speculated on the identity of this mysterious bidder. The auctioneer, taken aback by the sudden turn of events, cleared his throat and called out, 10 million credits. Do I hear any other bids? Going once, going twice. The Xanthians and Krullians, their pride and determination shaken by the enormous sum, reluctantly backed down. With no further challengers, the auctioneer brought his gavel down with a resounding thud. Sold. To the gentleman in the back, for 10 million credits. As the crowd murmured and speculated, the hooded figure made his way to the front of the hall, his steps measured and purposeful. He approached Captain Zax and extended a gloved hand. Captain, I am Zorn. I believe we have some matters to discuss regarding the relic. Zax, his curiosity piqued by the stranger's air of mystery, nodded and shook Zorn's hand. Indeed we do. But first, I must ask, why did you bid so much for this old ship? What do you know about it that we don't? Zorn chuckled softly, his voice barely above a whisper. All will be revealed in due time, Captain. For now, let us say that the relic holds secrets that could change the course of the galaxy, and I intend to uncover them. With those cryptic words, Zorn turned and strode away, leaving Zax and his crew to ponder the implications of his statement. As they watched the hooded figure disappear into the crowd, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had just become part of something much larger than themselves, a cosmic game of chess with the relic at its center. The stage was set, the players in place, and the true purpose of the ancient human worship was about to be revealed. The galaxy would never be the same again. In the depths of the galactic hub's spaceport, Zorn led Captain Zax and his crew to a secluded hangar. The hooded figure had promised them answers, and now, as they stood before the relic, they eagerly awaited the revelation of its secrets. Zorn approached the ancient warship, his gloved hand running along its battered hull. Gentlemen, he began, his voice low and steady, what you are about to learn must remain between us. The fate of the galaxy may depend on it. With a dramatic flourish, Zorn reached up and removed his hood, revealing a face that left the others stunned. He was human, a species long thought to be extinct, lost to the annals of galactic history. You're human, Zax stammered, his eyes wide with disbelief. Zorn nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of his lips. Yes, Captain. I am one of the last of my kind, a remnant of a civilization that once spanned the stars. He turned to face the relic, his expression growing somber. This ship, the relic, is more than just an ancient vessel. It is a key to our past and a beacon of hope for our future. Zorn explained that the relic contained a powerful AI, a creation of the long-lost human empire. This AI, known as Osiris, held the knowledge and technology of humanity's golden age, a time when they were the most advanced species in the galaxy. But why did you hide? Krill asked, his brow furrowed in confusion. Why let the galaxy believe you were extinct? Zorn sighed, his shoulders heavy with the weight of his people's history. We were not ready. The human empire had grown arrogant, and our technology had become a threat to the very fabric of the galaxy. We knew that we had to step back, to let the other species develop and evolve on their own terms. He turned to face the crew, his eyes blazing with determination. But now, the galaxy is in peril. The Xanthians and the Krullians, among others, seek to dominate and control, to bend the very stars to their will. And they will stop at nothing to possess the power that lies within the relic. Zax and his crew listened intently, their minds reeling with the implications of Zorn's words. They had stumbled upon a secret that could alter the course of galactic history, and now they found themselves at the center of a conflict that threatened to consume them all. "What do you need from us?" Zax asked, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Zorn smiled, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "I need your help, Captain. Together, we must restore the relic and awaken Osiris. With the Eye's guidance and the ship's advanced technology, we may be able to turn the tide and bring balance to the galaxy once more." The crew exchanged glances, the gravity of their newfound purpose settling upon them like a mantle. They had come seeking fortune and glory, but now they found themselves entrusted with a mission that could shape the destiny of countless worlds. As they set to work, the relic hummed with a newfound energy, its ancient systems stirring to life under the guidance of Zorn and Osiris. The human warship, once a relic of a bygone age, now stood as a symbol of hope, a beacon in the darkness that threatened to engulf the galaxy. But even as they labored, the crew knew that their actions would not go unnoticed. The Xanthians, the Krullians, and countless other factions would soon learn of the relic's reawakening, and they would stop at nothing to claim its power for themselves. The battle for the galaxy's future had begun, and the crew of the relic found themselves at its forefront, guided by the wisdom of an ancient AI and the courage of a human who had emerged from the shadows to light the way. Deep within the heart of the relic, Zorn and the salvage crew worked tirelessly to bring the ancient human warship back to life. The ship's systems, dormant for countless centuries, slowly stirred as power coursed through its veins once more. Captain Zax wiped the sweat from his brow as he tinkered with a control panel, his fingers dancing across the unfamiliar technology. "I never thought I'd be working on a ship like this," he muttered, a hint of awe in his voice. Zorn, hunched over a nearby console, smiled. "The relic is a marvel of human engineering. Even after all this time, its core systems remain intact, waiting for the right moment to awaken." As if on cue, the ship's central computer flickered to life, its screens casting an eerie glow throughout the chamber. A voice, deep and resonant, filled the air. "Greetings. I am Osiris, the artificial intelligence of the United Earth ship Relic. It has been a long time since I last spoke with a living being." Zorn stepped forward, his eyes locked on the screen. "Osiris, I am Zorn, a descendant of the humans who created you. We have awakened you because the galaxy is in peril, and we need your help." The eye was silent for a moment, processing the information. "I see. The galaxy has changed much since my last activation. I will need to assess the current situation and determine the best course of action." As Osiris delved into the ship's databases and tapped into the Galactic Hub's information networks, Zorn and Zax discussed the state of the galaxy. They spoke of the ongoing conflicts, the rise of the Xanthians and Krullians, and the potential impact that the relic could have on the balance of power. "With Osiris and the relic's advanced technology, we may be able to broker peace or at least prevent all-out war," Zorn mused, his brow furrowed in thought. Zax nodded, his expression grim. "But we must be careful. If word gets out about the relic's reactivation, every faction in the galaxy will be after us. We need to keep a low profile until we're ready to make our move." As if to punctuate his words, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the ship. Osiris's voice cut through the din, urgent and commanding. "Alert! Multiple unknown vessels have entered the Galactic Hub space. They are heavily armed and appear to be converging on our location." Zorn and Zax exchanged a worried glance. "It seems our presence has not gone unnoticed." Zorn said, his jaw clenched. We must prepare for the worst. The crew sprang into action, each member taking up a different task to ready the relic for potential combat. Krill manned the ship's sensors, scanning the approaching vessels for any signs of weakness or vulnerability. Meanwhile, the others worked to bring the relic's weapons systems online, guided by Osiris's vast knowledge of human military technology. As the unknown ships drew closer, tension mounted within the relic. The crew knew that they were outnumbered and outgunned, but they refused to surrender without a fight. They had come too far and sacrificed too much to let the relic fall into the wrong hands. Osiris, its vast intelligence analyzing the situation at lightning speed, spoke up once more. I have identified the approaching vessels. They belong to the Krullian Empire, a warrior race known for their aggression and their desire for advanced technology. They must have learned of our reactivation and seek to claim the relic for themselves. Zorn's eyes narrowed, a steely determination settling over him. Then we have no choice. We must stand and fight, to protect not only the relic but the future of the galaxy itself. As the crew took up their battle stations, the relic hummed with newfound power, its ancient weapons primed and ready. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo through the ages, a battle between the past and the present, between hope and despair. And at the center of it all, a group of unlikely heroes, bound together by fate and purpose, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, no matter the cost. The Krullian ships descended upon the galactic hub like a swarm of angry hornets, their weapons primed and ready to strike. The relic, its crew hastily preparing for battle, stood defiantly against the oncoming onslaught. Captain Zax gripped the armrests of his chair, his knuckles turning white as he watched the view screen. Osiris, what's our status? He barked, his voice tight with tension. The AI's calm, measured tones filled the bridge. Weapon systems are online and fully operational. Shields are at maximum capacity. However, I must warn you that the Krullian ships outgun us in both numbers and firepower. Zorn, standing beside Zax, nodded grimly. We may be outmatched, but we have something they don't. The element of surprise. They expect us to be a helpless relic, not a fully functioning warship. Krill, hunched over the sensor console, suddenly straightened, his eyes wide. Captain, the Krullians are hailing us. They demand our immediate surrender. Zax and Zorn exchanged a glance, a silent understanding passing between them. They knew that surrender was not an option, not when the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Open a channel, Zax commanded, his voice steady. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the sneering face of a Krullian commander. Human vessel, you are outnumbered and outmatched. Surrender the relic to us, and we may spare your lives. Zorn stepped forward, his eyes blazing with defiance. We will never surrender to the likes of you. The relic and its secrets belong to humanity, and we will defend them with our lives. The Krullian commander's face contorted with rage. Then you will die, along with your pathetic species' last hope for survival. With that, the screen went blank, and the Krullian ships opened fire. The relic shuddered as the first volley of laser blasts struck its shields, the deck plates vibrating beneath the crew's feet. Osiris's voice cut through the chaos, calm and focused. Shields holding at 80%. Returning fire. The relic's weapons came to life, ancient human technology unleashing a barrage of missiles and energy beams upon the Krullian ships. The enemy vessels scattered, their formation breaking under the unexpected onslaught. Zax grinned fiercely as he watched one of the Krullian ships explode in a brilliant flash of light. That's the way, Osiris. Show them what human ingenuity can do. But the Krullians were far from defeated. They regrouped, their ships closing in on the relic like a pack of hungry wolves. The battle raged on, the two sides trading blows in a deadly dance of destruction. As the minutes stretched into hours, the relic's crew began to feel the strain of prolonged combat. Sweat poured down their faces, and their muscles ached with fatigue. But they refused to give in. knowing that the stakes were too high to falter now. Suddenly, a massive Krullian battleship emerged from the fray, its weapons locked onto the Relic. Osiris's voice rang out in warning. Incoming fire from the flagship. Brace for impact. The Relic shook violently as the battleship's weapons found their mark, alarms blaring throughout the ship. Zax gritted his teeth as he watched the shield readout plummet. Osiris, status report. Shields down to 20%. Hull integrity compromised. We cannot withstand another direct hit from that battleship. Zorn's face was grim, but determined. Then we have no choice. We must take out that flagship, no matter the cost. The crew nodded in agreement, their resolve hardening in the face of adversity. They knew that this was their moment, their chance to prove that humanity was not a relic of the past, but a force to be reckoned with. With a final defiant roar, the Relic surged forward, its weapons blazing as it charged headlong into the heart of the Krullian fleet. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the crew of the Relic would not rest until they had secured its future, once and for all. As the Relic charged towards the Krullian flagship, its crew knew that they were embarking on a mission from which they might not return. The odds were stacked against them, but they were determined to fight until their last breath. Captain Zax's voice rang out over the ship's intercom, his words filled with a fierce determination. All hands, this is your captain. We are about to engage the enemy flagship. I know we're outnumbered and outgunned, but remember what we're fighting for. The future of the galaxy depends on us. Let's show these Krullians what humanity is made of. A resounding cheer echoed throughout the ship as the crew rallied behind their captain's words. They manned their stations with renewed vigor, their hearts filled with a sense of purpose and resolve. Osiris, the ship's AI, worked tirelessly to optimize the Relic systems, channeling every ounce of power into the weapons and shields. Rerouting non-essential systems to boost weapon output, the AI reported, its voice calm and focused. We should be able to penetrate the flagship's defenses with a concentrated barrage. Zorn nodded, his eyes fixed on the view screen. Then that's what we'll do. We'll hit them with everything we've got. As the Relic closed in on the Krullian flagship, the enemy vessel unleashed a barrage of laser fire, its weapons pounding against the human ship's shields. The deck shuddered beneath the crew's feet, but they held fast, their determination unbreakable. Shields at 10%, Osiris warned, its voice rising above the din of battle. We must strike now, before our defenses fail completely. Zax gripped the armrests of his chair, his eyes narrowing. All weapons, fire at will. Concentrate your fire on their main reactor. The Relic's weapons blazed to life, a dazzling array of missiles and energy beams lancing out towards the Krullian flagship. The enemy ship's shields flared and flickered under the onslaught. Its hull buckled and twisted as the human weapons found their mark. For a moment, it seemed as though the Krullian ship would withstand the attack. But then, with a blinding flash of light, the flagship's reactor exploded, tearing the vessel apart from within. The crew of the Relic watched in awe as the mighty ship disintegrated before their eyes, reduced to nothing more than a cloud of debris and sparkling fragments. A cheer erupted throughout the Relic as the crew celebrated their victory, but their joy was short-lived. The remaining Krullian ships, seeing their flagship destroyed, turned and fled, but not before sending out a final desperate transmission. Krill, monitoring the communications channels, turned to Zax and Zorn, his face grave. Captain, the Krullians have sent out a distress call to their allies. They're warning them about the Relic and calling for reinforcements. Zorn frowned, his mind racing. We can't stay here. We need to find a way to gather our strength and prepare for the battles to come. Suddenly, Osiris spoke up, its voice filled with a newfound urgency. Captain, I have detected a series of encrypted transmissions coming from various points across the galaxy. They appear to be from other human resistance groups, hidden among the stars. Zax's eyes widened, a glimmer of hope sparking within them. Can you decipher the transmissions, Osiris? Affirmative. The messages contain coordinates and coded phrases. It seems that these resistance groups have been waiting for a sign, a beacon of hope to rally around. Zorn leaned forward, his voice low and earnest. The Relic. They must have heard about our victory against the Krullians. They see us as that beacon. Zax nodded, a determined smile spreading across his face. Then we have our mission. We'll seek out these resistance groups, gather our strength, and take the fight to the enemy. We'll show the galaxy that humanity is far from extinct, and that we will not go quietly into the night. With a newfound sense of purpose, the crew of the Relic set forth, their ship battered but unbroken, ready to forge a new destiny for themselves and for the galaxy they called home. The tide was turning, and the future was theirs to shape. As the Relic journeyed through the stars, seeking out the hidden human resistance groups, its crew knew that their actions had set in motion a chain of events that would change the galaxy forever. The once dormant human warship had become a symbol of hope, a shining beacon in the darkness of oppression and tyranny. Captain Zax stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the view screen as the ship navigated the vast expanse of space. Beside him, Zorn and Osiris worked tirelessly to decipher the encrypted transmissions, piecing together the locations of their scattered allies. Another signal detected, Osiris reported, its voice filled with a quiet excitement. This one originates from the Aldebaran system. The message reads, "The Phoenix rises from the ashes. The Relic lights the way." Zorn smiled, a sense of pride welling up within him. They believe in us. They see the Relic as a sign that humanity is ready to reclaim its place in the galaxy. As the ship traveled from system to system, the crew encountered other human resistance fighters, each group with its own unique story and struggles. Some had been waging a guerrilla war against their alien overlords for generations, while others had only recently discovered their human heritage, hidden away in the depths of their genetic code. But all were united in their desire to see humanity rise once more, to shake off the yoke of oppression and forge a new destiny among the stars. And with each new ally that joined their cause, the Relic grew stronger, its ancient technology blending with the ingenuity and determination of its human crew. Zax and Zorn found themselves at the forefront of a growing movement, their names whispered in awe and reverence by those who had once lost hope. The Relic became a rallying cry, a symbol of defiance against the alien factions that sought to keep humanity in chains. As the resistance grew, so too did the challenges they faced. The Xanthians and Krullians, once bitter rivals, now found common cause in their desire to destroy the human threat. They pooled their resources, their fleets and armies, in a desperate attempt to crush the Relic and its allies once and for all. But the crew of the Relic would not be deterred. With Osiris's guidance and the combined strength of the human resistance, they met their enemies head-on, their ancient weapons and unyielding spirit proving more than a match for the alien onslaught. In battle after battle, the Relic and its allies emerged victorious, their victories sending shockwaves throughout the galaxy. Alien civilizations that had once dismissed humanity as a primitive, long-forgotten species now trembled at the sight of the Relic's blazing guns and the determination of its human crew. And as the legend of the Relic grew, so too did the hope and pride of humanity. In secret enclaves and hidden outposts across the galaxy, humans who had long been forced to hide their true nature now emerged from the shadows, ready to take their place alongside their brothers and sisters in arms. Zax, Zorn, and the crew of the Relic found themselves at the center of a new era, a time when humanity would no longer be content to survive on the fringes of galactic society. They had become the stuff of legend, their names etched into the annals of history as the saviors of their species and the champions of freedom. As the Relic set forth on its next mission, its crew knew that the road ahead would be long and fraught with danger. But they also knew that they had the strength, the courage, and the unity to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For they were human, and they would never again let the galaxy forget the power and resilience of their kind. And so, the legend of the Relic and its valiant crew continued to grow, a shining beacon of hope in a galaxy that had once been consumed by darkness. The future was theirs to shape, and they would do so with the unwavering determination and indomitable spirit that had always been the hallmark of humanity.